What's up everyone, welcome to today's YouTube video. In today's video we are going to discuss the current state of Bitcoin and we will be going over a potential trade setup that I'm potentially looking at for XRP. First of all, you can see the past hour or so Bitcoin has been going down pretty steep. If we check the 1 hourly time frame, we can see that Bitcoin yesterday during the weekend got a scam move towards the upside in which a lot of people got stopped out of their short positions, in which they had their stop losses above this high and above this high. All of those short positions got squeezed out and got stopped out, and right now you can see that Bitcoin swept the high over here and started correcting ever since. We were already kind of expecting a correction like this, especially since this move towards the upside happened during the weekend, and that is definitely something that you don't like to see. Okay, so ever since we are starting to come down, and people are right now once again FOMOing into short positions. So if we go to Coinalyze and we check the CVD indicator and we remove the volume for a second and we switch on the 15-minute time frame, we can see that massive amounts of people are shorting once again this small move towards the downside of approximately only 2.8%. But once again, we can see that people are crazy FOMOing into short positions again, in which we are forming lower lows on the CVD but higher lows on price action, which means that once again bigger players are currently absorbing that sell pressure that is coming into the markets. And I've been explaining this in a thread on Twitter. We were seeing this all the time. So over here, lower lows on the CVD, higher lows on the price session, absorption, and we got another squeeze towards the upside. Same was happening over here. So all the way back, if I switch on the 1 hourly time frame, we can also see the exact same thing happening over here, right? So lower lows on the CVD, especially over here, and we were forming constant higher lows on the price section, in which it caused another short squeeze towards the upside over here. Right now, people are once again FOMOing into short positions. Right now, I'm just holding my long positions on Cardano and on Chainlink with the stop losses into profits. I'm not going to open any new longs at this area for now, but I do think that you don't want to be shorting either over here, right? Because we are seeing that absorption, because we are seeing those very eager bears once again FOMOing into those short positions, I do think that you want to be pretty careful with opening fresh short positions right over here for the Bitcoin price. Okay, so we are going to discuss potential trade ideas, potential areas of support for Bitcoin, and we are going to do the exact same thing for XRP. First of all, Bitcoin. So we got this sweep in which we are potentially creating some kind of a 3-drive pattern, right? So we have our first drive over here, second drive, and now we have our third drive. We haven't really seen a high time frame break of structure yet, but that is another sign for me that you don't want to be looking for shorts as of yet. Okay, so but if Bitcoin does come towards the downside, like I said, you don't want to be trading against the trend, but if it does come down, what is the massive area of support for Bitcoin? Well, we can see that Bitcoin, as we've been discussing multiple times already, has been in this impulse towards the upside. So let's say potentially with this 3-drive pattern, we have finished up the third wave and we are looking to end the possible fourth wave. We are looking where it might be ending before going into that final and fifth wave towards the upside, right? Because also within this third wave towards the upside, we can identify 5 subwaves. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So we might be looking for potential end of the fourth wave, in which we might be interested in longing that so that we can profit during the fifth wave. We also know that the fourth wave usually retraces anywhere in between the 0.236 and the 0.382 fib level. So we go from the beginning of wave 3 towards the end of wave 3, and we can see that 0.236 is right below these relative equal lows over here. Also, we can see that the 0.382 is exactly within this consolidation before we got this impulse towards the upside. So also both of these fib levels are lining up very nicely with our potential area of interest, because there are two potential scenarios that I'm watching. First scenario would be a sweep of these lows over here into that 0.236, if we get the right reaction, create some kind of a 15-minute sweep and break of structure. So in that case, I would be interested in something like this. So we tap it, get a small bounce, then we sweep that low, then we get that break of structure, form that higher low, and then we continue towards the upside, in which you could be interested in potential longing this higher low with the stop loss over here, creating a very nice risk to reward ratio. So that is the first potential trade setup that I'm eyeing up for Bitcoin. The second one, in which I'm actually more interested in this one, well, we have our previous resistance area over here, right? So very big resistance, consolidation area before we started that move towards the upside, in which we got that sweep of the low over here, created some kind of a bullish accumulation area, consolidation, demand coming in, and we got that squeeze towards the upside, right? So that is very well aligning with our 0.382 fib level, and also we have this previous resistance area over here. So crucial previous resistance, which resulted in that big crash towards the downside, is also lining up with that exact same area. So I do think that we can mark this out as a zone of support, right? And that is perfectly aligning with the 0.382 fib level. So in my opinion, if we do come down towards this area of support and it shows signs that it is holding for us, we can see a potential bounce towards the upside, because we will be sweeping these lows, tapping into the support over here, and that is definitely an area where you don't want to be looking for shorts, but where you would prefer to look for potential long positions on Bitcoin. Okay, so this is definitely an area where I would be interested in potential long positions for Bitcoin. And if we do come down, that would also mean that we were going to retest the 200 EMA for Bitcoin. So if I switch it on over here and I remove the 100 EMA, we can see that also the 200 EMA on a daily time frame, a very important EMA, is exactly lining up with our area of interest over here. So definitely a very interesting potential setup that we could be looking at for Bitcoin. If we retest this area, I do think this would be a perfect area to end the fourth wave before we could potentially start a fifth wave towards the upside. Also, do keep in mind that we do have quite a lot of news events this week, both for Forex, but it will also have a very big effect on Bitcoin. So that is definitely something that we have to take into account, because it might cause some extra volatility for the Bitcoin price. Also on the traditional markets, so definitely keep an eye on it, because we will have the FOMC meeting, and on top of that on Friday we also have that NFP data coming out this week. Okay, so definitely make sure to keep an eye on it, as I will keep an eye on it too, obviously. Definitely some important data coming out, so definitely going to keep an eye on it, and it will definitely cause some nice volatility into the markets. XRP. Very interesting chart in my opinion, because it hasn't really been running as other cryptocurrencies the past couple of weeks. And what is pretty interesting, which actually just occurred, is that we are seeing a sweep of those equal lows over here. Not really the area yet where I want to be longing, because if I go from swing low to swing high, I can see that a little lower we also have this golden pocket perfectly lining up with this demand area over here, which caused this pump towards the upside. So this is definitely an area where I would be interested in potential longs. If I switch on the fixed range volume profile, I can also see that by far the biggest volume cluster and also our point of control over here is perfectly lining up with our golden Fibonacci ratio over here, and a little lower we have this hour 4 demand area with that 0.786 fib level lining up beautifully together as well. So this is definitely an area where I'm interested in potential long positions for XRP. We already swept those lows, put in a new low, but I do think this could be a potential inducement, right? So also for XRP, we might be looking for a potential three drive pattern, but then towards the downside instead of towards the upside, in which we might get that last sweep of that low into that golden pocket, into that point of control, and maybe even test this hour 4 demand area, and then get a bounce towards the upside from there. Okay, if we measure out this range over here and we switch on this range, the previous range is also lining up beautifully with our point of control, the mid-range. Okay, and we can see that if we go on a 1 hourly time frame, let's remove the fixed range volume profile for a second, we can also see the importance of this mid-range, right? So over here, tap, tap, resistance, resistance. Over here you can see holding a support, then over here beautiful tap, and that is where we got sent towards the upside. Okay, so definitely crucial mid-range for XRP, and definitely a range to keep an eye on. If we do get another sweep of the low that we just put in, I would definitely be interested in potential long position, in which we would maybe get a tap of that golden pocket and then get a bounce towards the upside. Why? Because a lot of buy side liquidity has been building up. Like I said, it hasn't been pumping as the other altcoins. So we have a lot of buy side liquidity that was building up over here for XRP, and I definitely want those highs to be taken out, especially if Bitcoin also follows our potential scenario. So we maybe get a dip, or at least at some point we move towards a 25, 27, 28k area, which remains my target for Bitcoin. I do think these highs will for sure be taken out, and we probably visit much higher levels for XRP. Okay, so definitely interested in longing around this point of control, the mid-range, the golden pocket, mid-range, point of control, and also this demand area over here with the 0.76 fib level. Okay, I do think that this could be the start of a potential impulse, right? So we got that sweep of liquidity over here, got that break of structure over here, in which we might have our first wave over here, second wave retrace towards the golden pocket, and then continue the third wave, fourth wave, and fifth wave towards the upside, which should look much prettier, something like this probably, right? So this is definitely something that I'm keeping an eye on XRP, because I do think that this looks potentially like bullish accumulation for XRP, okay, in which we could maybe get some kind of a sweep, the spring, and then the reclaim, and then we get sent towards the upside. Okay, so that is what I'm looking at for XRP currently. Definitely a very interesting chart. We can also check out the EMAs. On the 4-hourly time frame, we can see that the 200 EMA and the 200 moving average are beautifully approaching our area of support, which are the two most important EMAs for altcoins. Okay, guys, so that is what I'm currently looking at for both Bitcoin and XRP. Both very interesting charts. I think both very clear charts. And do remember what I said, guys. Keep an eye on that CVD indicator. Keep an eye on those people FOMOing into those short positions every single time. And that is definitely something that you have to keep an eye on, because if they keep FOMOing into those short positions on every small move towards the downside, they always get punished. Okay, never try to trade against a trend. Try to let the trades come to you and don't chase those trades. Okay, guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any questions after watching this update, make sure to let me know on Twitter or let me know in the free Discord. Both of the links can be found in our description, and also make sure to smash on that like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay guys, thank you guys for watching, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Ciao, ciao.